Hi, everyone. Welcome again to Ivy English. I'm Bruce.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
Today we have an article for you. We are going to take a look at some very popular and famous children's comics, but actually adults like these comics as much as kids do.
It's just Snoopy. Something about Snoopy is so popular the world around. However, I have to say I have met way more Asian people who are into Snoopy than Americans.
Oh.
Like something about Snoopy is like even more resonant with people on this side of the world. In my, personal sample of friends and
And
people.
they both said this.
I mean, I just don't know as many Americans who love Snoopy, but I know so many Asian women in specific who love Snoopy.
Great.
所以一点点文化的背景啊，就是 Angela 老师他个人的经验是在东方，尤其在台湾啊，喜欢 Snoopy 的人呢非常的多哈，可能比他认识的喜欢 Snoopy 的美国人还要多啊。大家
Also
参考一下。
Japan, also Thailand.
日本也是一样。
Also Koreans,
还有韩
weirdly
国
enough. Yeah.
Okay, well, here on the 11th of October, we present our article, Go Nuts for Peanuts Comic Strip.
我们的中文标题是风行数十载，花生漫画与史努比。
All right, to go nuts for something is to be crazy about, which means to like something very, very much. And Peanuts, you can see here we use the italics because it's the official formal name of the comic strip or comic. And we're going to give you background on it and try to explain maybe why Snoopy is so popular.
Can I just quickly say the difference between comic and comic strip in modern usage now,
Sure.
like last 20 years? A comic is a long form and a comic strip is a 4-panel situation.
What do you mean long form?
Like a comic could
Whole
be a
book.
story.
Oh,
Well, I mean, it used to be
comic book?
called graphic novels. No, comic books and graphic novels used to be the difference, but now comics can be a long-form story, whereas a comic strip is like a punchline
Right.
newspaper printing situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
好，
This is a
Yeah.
new distinction.
所以呢，这个 Angela 老师说呢，这个近10-20年来呢 ，comic 跟 comic strip 有一个差别啊，就 comic 它可能是一个整个的故事啊，可能是整本书啊讲一个故事。那 comic strip 就是我们讲的连环漫画，通常是4格的漫画。那这个标题另外 Go Nuts 它有那种非常喜欢啊，为什么疯狂的意思，它本来是疯狂的意思，但在这里它可以表示非常喜欢。然后呢，但是这个 nuts 它也可以指花生啊，所以这个地方有点双关语 Go nuts for peanuts 啊，各位看到 peanuts 里面也有 nuts。
All right. Okay, I'll read through, let's see, we have 4 paragraphs here today, so let's get busy. Charlie Brown has scarcely won any baseball games, can't fly a kite, and has yet to kick a football. He is indecisive, easily gets embarrassed, and has bad luck. It's hard to imagine a character like this being the lead of a popular comic. However, Peanuts, featuring Charlie Brown, his dog Snoopy, and his lovable friends, is one of the most influential comic strips in history. Charles M. Schulz, the author and illustrator of Peanuts, started drawing comic strips in the late 1940s. Lil Folks, one of his first series, is viewed as an embryonic version of Peanuts. The first official emergence of the name Charlie Brown was on May 30th, 1948 in Lil Folks. However, Charlie Brown in Lil Folks is different from the one we are familiar with in Peanuts in terms of personality traits. On the other hand, a dog in Lil Folks does resemble Snoopy in Peanuts. The iconic Peanuts began publication on October 2nd, 1950. The characters of the early 1950s comics bear little resemblance to the ones people know and love today. Moreover, many popular characters such as Sally Brown, Peppermint Patty, and Franklin weren't introduced until the late 1950s and 1960s. With the evolution of its characters, Peanuts progressively became popular across the U.S. By the 1960s, the comic strip had branched out into television specials, a movie, and even a stage play. Nowadays, Peanuts characters are found everywhere. They can be seen on toys, in video games, and down the snack food aisle in grocery stores. Characters like Snoopy are arguably as prevalent around the world as Hello Kitty and Mickey Mouse. Unfortunately, when Charles M. Schulz passed away in 2000, the comic was terminated at his request. However, Peanuts lives on and continues to entertain people of all ages.
Okay, so Charlie Brown has scarcely won any baseball games. If you've scarcely won, it means you've almost won none. Nearly zero. So not only has he nearly won can you say that? Nearly won no baseball games? You can. Not only has he nearly won no baseball games, he can't fly a kite. And he has yet to kick a football. So he's, not very good at living.
Loser.
好，所以呢，他说 Charlie Brown 他 has scarcely 就是 hardly 或者是 barely 的意思，这几乎没有。他几乎没有赢过任何的棒球比赛啊。那各位如果看漫画就发现他常常在漫画里面好像就在打棒球那种感觉哈。然后 can't fly a kite 他也不会放风筝啊。然后呢 has yet to kick a football has yet to 各位学起来这就是还没能的意思啊。通常呢我们要 when we're talking about something that has not yet happened 的时候会用啊。而且常常啊这个我们 use it to show that we do not expect something to happen 常常是这样子哈 has yet to 就感觉起来是类似中文讲的大概是没什么指望了。所以呢这里这个 has yet to 这个用法可以学起来。
He is indecisive, easily gets embarrassed, and has bad luck. He, of course, is Charlie Brown, and here are some other rather unwelcome or unhappy facts about him. He is indecisive. He can't make up his mind easily, but he easily gets embarrassed. He's embarrassed by many things about himself and has bad luck. We say that some people are just born unlucky, others are born very lucky.
好，所以呢 he is indecisive 这个字好好学起来，这个字就是中文讲的优柔寡断 indecisive。 好，那这个如果说你想要增加自己智慧的话，这里还有两个也很高端的智慧，一个叫做 irresolute IRRESOLUTE 好，这也是优柔寡断的意思，就没办法决定。好，另外一个呢 vacillating好 VACILLATING 好，那当然这些字都有一点差别，但是意思差不多。
So, can I say?
Sure.
So, indecisive is a general character trait. Irresolute is about a specific issue. And vacillating is, again, more about a specific decision.
所以这中间的差别呢，就是 indecisive 是比较一个 general 的一个特色一个人的个性。indecisive 那 irresolute 常常是指某一个特定的 issue 某一个特定的议题上面你是 irresolute 或者那 vacillating 其实也是比较是一个特定的这个 issue 上面好，所以呢他优柔寡断，然后呢 easily 他很容易的就 gets embarrassed 就是把自己搞得很尴尬，然后呢 has bad luck 运气不好。
So it's hard to imagine a character like this with almost everything going badly for him being the lead of a popular comic. On the other hand, it makes sense because who would not identify with Charlie Brown at some point? Like he's easily identifiable with.
好，所以呢 it's hard to imagine 你很难想象 a character like this 像这样的一个角色 being 居然是 the lead 就是主角 of a popular comic 一个人气漫画的主角，你很难想象这样的一个人居然是主角。
However, Peanuts, featuring Charlie Brown, his dog Snoopy, and his lovable friends, is one of the most influential comic strips in history. Despite this character, Charlie Brown, being what we call a sad sack, a guy who is unlucky and doesn't seem to be able to get things done and so on.
A perpetual loser.
A loser, there we go again. After all, Peanuts, the comic strip, features Charlie Brown. He is often seen in the comic strip.
He's the main character.
You could say that, absolutely. And his dog Snoopy as well. He also has lovable friends that attract us. All of this makes Peanuts one of the most influential. It has affected so many people in positive ways that throughout history, maybe in America anyway, it might be considered the most important comic strip.
They definitely, this comic strip definitely influenced what comic strips should be. Like they've set a standard for comic strips.
好，所以呢，这里讲到 Peanuts 啊，它斜体字表示这个花生漫画。然后呢，补充说明 featuring 就是以谁为主角，它以这个 Charlie Brown 为主角啊，还有他的狗 Snoopy， 还有他的 lovable 讨人喜爱的这些朋友啊，以这些为主角。那这个漫画呢，是历史上面最有影响力的这个连环漫画之一，而且就像这个 Andrew 老师刚刚讲的，它其实对于连环漫画这个形式啊有很大的影响。那刚刚这个Bruce 老师跟 Andrew 老师都讲到这个 Charlie Brown 哈，这 Bruce 老师讲他是个 a sad sack 哈，是 SACK。Yeah,
like a bag of sadness.
就是这个好像一整袋的悲伤那种感觉哈。那这个Andrew 老师讲说 a perpetual loser 啊 ，perpetual 就是 PERPETUAL。perpetual 就是永恒的，好，所以他是个永恒的 loser 好，他不是一两次而已，他一天到晚就是个 loser 好，那这个大家可以顺便学起来。
Now, Charles M. Schulz, the author and illustrator of Peanuts, he started drawing comic strips in the late 1940s.
好，那这位这个 Charles M. Schulz 啊，他是作者，也是那个插画家啊。那他开始画连环漫画呢，是在1940年代末期开始画。
Little Folks, notice this is in italics. This is his first comic strip. Lil is short in spoken English for little people, little folks. One of his first series, referring to comic strips, is viewed as an embryonic version of Peanuts. Embryonic refers to the very, very beginning of something. And so Little Folks developed later into Peanuts.
好，所以这个 Little Folks 就是小家伙，那个 Little 啊，就是念得很快，把 Little 念快一点啊。那这个是同位语，告诉你它是 one of his first series， 那是他第一个系列漫画之一啊。那 is viewed as 就是被视为啊 ，is seen as 大家都把它看成是一个 embryonic， 就是胚胎期的、萌芽期的，或者刚起步的，或者一个雏形的一个 version 一个版本 of Peanuts。所以换句话说，这个 Little Folks 就是后来的花生漫画的雏形。
The first official emergence of the name Charlie Brown, emergence means it came out, it was seen. And so the very first time we saw Charlie Brown was on May 30th, or the first time we heard his name, I think. We maybe didn't see him. The way that it's written, it sounds like we only heard the name. And that was on May 30th, 1948, in Little Folks.
好，所以首先第一次的 official 就是正式的官方的 emergence 就是现身或者是出现 of the name 这个名字第一次出现正式出现就是 Charlie Brown 这个名字第一次正式出现是在1948年5月30号在这个小家伙这个漫画里面出现的。
However, Charlie Brown in Little Folks is different from the one we are familiar with in Peanuts in terms of personality traits. So it was the same character's name, but they were really quite different. We know that your personality traits are how you behave and how people see you as a person. They were quite different. The Charlie Brown of Little Folks and the Charlie Brown of Peanuts, same name, but very different kids.
好，但是呢，在这个小家伙这里面的 Charlie Brown 啊 is different from 就是跟哪一个不一样呢？跟 the one we are familiar with, the one 就是 the Charlie Brown that we are familiar with 就跟我们所熟悉的那个 Charlie Brown 在花生漫画里面我们所熟悉的那个 Charlie Brown 这两个 Charlie Brown 呢是不一样的。那在哪方面不一样呢？ In terms of 就是在哪方面或者是就什么什么而言 regarding something 啊，或者 in reference to something 啊 reference R-E-F-E-R-E-N-C-E 所以他们在哪方面不一样呢？在 personality traits就是个性或者性格的 traits 特质上面是不同的。
On the other hand, a dog in Little Folks does resemble Snoopy in Peanuts. So even though the Charlie Brown in Little Folks doesn't look like the Charlie Brown in Peanuts, the dog really does look like Snoopy. That's why we said it does resemble. We're emphasizing that even though Charlie Brown didn't, Snoopy really did look like later Snoopy.
好 ，on the other hand， 在另外一方面呢，在小家伙里面有一只狗does 加强语气 resemble 就是 to look or seem like 和什么很相像，所以小家伙里面有一只狗的确实跟 Peanuts 里面的 Snoopy 很像。
The iconic Peanuts began publication on October 2nd, 1950. So the name Peanuts with the characters that we are familiar with today, Charlie Brown and Snoopy, for example, began a mere 72 years ago.
Iconic 就是具有指标意义的，或者代表某一个时代或者某一个现象而非常出名的。好，所以这个 Peanuts 大家都认得的啊，它是怎么样 ？Began publication 开始刊登啊，是在1950年的10月2日。
So the characters of the early 1950s comics bear little resemblance to the ones people know and love today, and that's just how art evolves, you know. As an artist, you can look at this and be like, he didn't come up with the iconic Peanuts straight away. He started off in a completely different strip, and even when he did start Peanuts, what they were like and how they are now is not the same. At some point, he developed until he got a mature style, and then the mature style is now what we see as the characters we know and love.
好，所以很多时候都是这样，角色是需要 evolve 啊，需要演化演进的 evolve 啊，所以他说这个1950年代早期的漫画里面的这些角色呢 bear little resemblance to 就是和什么没有什么相近之处啊，几乎没有什么相像之处，跟什么没有什么相像之处呢 the ones people know and love today 好，跟大家今天所知道而且喜欢的这些角色啊没有什么相似之处，就几乎没有什么相同的地方。
Moreover, many popular characters such as Sally Brown, Peppermint Patty, and Franklin weren't introduced until the late 1950s and 1960s. Sally Brown is Charlie Brown's little younger sister. Peppermint Patty is a girl in the neighborhood, and so is Franklin. But they were not available for people really well into the 1960s.
好，那此外呢，很多受欢迎的角色啊，例如这个 Sally Brown 这 Peppermint Patty 还有 Franklin， 他们都没有被推出啊 weren't introduced 就是没有带入这个漫画，没有推出啊，一直要到1950年代末啊1960年代他们才有这些角色。
With the evolution of its characters, so with the characters developing until today, Peanuts progressively became popular across the U.S. So as its characters got better and better, Peanuts became more and more popular.
With the evolution of 就是随着什么什么的演化啊或者演进啊，所以随着这些角色的演化或者演进呢，那花生漫画 progressively 就是 increasingly 啊，就持续的一步一步的 step by step 越来越 popular 啊 across the U.S. 在全美国越来越受欢迎。
By the 1960s, the comic strip had branched out into television specials, a movie, and even a stage play. So you couldn't contain or keep these characters in a newspaper comic strip. Charlie Brown and the Christmas this and that and the Thanksgiving special for the Peanuts group. And so
that was such like must-see watching. We watched it every year and we're like, when is the Charlie Brown Christmas special coming on? Like everyone watched it every year.
That's true.
It was a part of Christmas.
好，所以呢到1960年代的时候呢 the comic strip 就是指 Peanuts 这个连环图画呢 had branched out 就是 expand 啊，就是开枝散叶或者 diversify diversify 好，就散到了例如说电视特辑，好像刚刚这个 Bruce 老师跟 Angel 老师讲到当年的这个大家都快要到圣诞节的时候都在等今年的这个 Charlie Brown 的这个特别节目是什么样子后来也拍了一部电影，甚至于它变成了也有一个舞台剧 a stage play.
Nowadays, Peanuts characters are found everywhere. In the most unlikely places.
Yeah, 所以到处都看得见 are found everywhere.
Yeah, I noticed a pair of sunglasses. As you would expect, the lenses are slightly dark colored, but you have Snoopy's ears and eyebrows above it. So really cute.
Yeah.
They can be seen on toys in video games and down the snack food aisle in grocery stores. Not only sunglasses, but of course toys as you would expect, video games as well, and in grocery stores, when you walk down the aisle, you may find some cookies, Peanuts cookies, or Snoopy crackers, and so on.
好，所以呢，你可以在哪里看到呢？在玩具上面，在电玩里面，然后呢 ，down 就是往下走 ，farther along 就沿着这个 snack food aisle 就零食的走道一直往下走就会看到了在这个 grocery stores， 在杂货店，零食也有很多上面会有 Snoopy 的这个或者是 Charlie Brown 的图像。
Characters like Snoopy are arguably as prevalent around the world as Hello Kitty and Mickey Mouse. If something is arguably true, it means that you can try to prove it and you have a good chance to prove it. If something is prevalent, it means that it's very common or more than common. It's like
widespread.
Widespread. That's a good word.
好，所以呢像 Snoopy 这样的一些角色呢 are arguably 这个是 arguably 这个字可以学起来，这个就是中文讲的可以说是，就是你可以去 argue 说就是这样子所以呢像 Snoopy 这样的角色可以说是 as prevalent around the world， 在全世界都是非常风行流行， prevalent 就是非常常见，这个散播很广的，全世界到处都看得到，那就跟什么呢？跟 Hello Kitty 跟这个 Mickey Mouse 相比毫不逊色的意思，所以可以说跟他们是一样的风行全世界。
Unfortunately, when Charles M. Schulz passed away in 2000, the comic was terminated at his request. So he knew he was going to die, and he knew how popular Peanuts had become, but he felt, this is my work, this was my life. When I die, I don't want the comic strip to continue to be published, and he got his wish.
好，那很不幸的，当这个作者 passed away 就是过世在2000年逝世的时候呢，这个漫画 was terminated 被终结 terminated 那个 term 就是 end 的意思，像我们一个一个学期也是有一个 end 所以他被终结了，那是 at his request 就是应他的要求，在他的要求之下，英文叫做 at his request.
However, Peanuts lives on. It's immortal in a way that Charles Schulz can't be, and continues to entertain people of all ages.
好，所以但是呢 Peanuts 这个漫画呢 lives on 就是 continue to live, usually despite hardship 或者是 adversity. Live on 就是它还是继续下去的，尽管有一些 hardship 有些艰难的地方，或者 adversity adversity 就是逆境它还是继续存活下去了所以这个尽管作者已经过世了，但他仍然继续下去而且呢他持续的 continues to entertain 娱乐 people of all ages 不分老少的人，他继续娱乐这些人。
Well, that's it for today's lesson, except for a couple of questions to help you think more deeply about the lesson. Our first is, what is the relationship between Lil Folks and Peanuts?
小家伙和花生漫画有何关联？
The answer is, Lil Folks is viewed as an embryonic version of Peanuts.
答案是小家伙被视为花生漫画的雏形。
And number 2, why did the comic strip Peanuts end?
那花生漫画为什么停止了？为什么结束了呢？
And the answer is it was terminated. It was ended at the request of Charles M. Schulz.
好，那答案是它是应这个作者他逝世的时候的要求而结束的。
So that's it for today's lesson. We'll be back in a few more days. We look forward to being with you anytime. Until the next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.